I don't know. He definitely is obsessed with the idea that he can't. I mean, they're totally building upon the story premise that he's frustrated that he's getting his butt kicked by the Thinker. So you can see they're driving his character to make a poor decision. And this facial expression shows it.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like he's about to make a bad decision.
Oh, yes. Is he right there? That's the way I look at a double cheeseburger from In-N-Out. Brian, that is Shane. This is the popcast, and today we're talking about The Flash, episode 17? I think it's 17. I don't know. Last night's episode. Good stuff. Or a couple nights ago. As you probably know, if you follow our channel, we just had the 1600 sub challenge, the beatdown, and the giveaway. We chose DeVoe's. Congratulations. But I want to make sure that everybody is aware, if we haven't been very clear before, that we are now doing the 3,200 subs. Basically, 1,600 times 2. And once we get to 3,200 subs, that is going to be a gigantic giveaway. We're going to be giving away the game console of your choice. Any game console, as long as it's not some limited edition, something out of Sweden.
Also, yes, also a game console.
I said console, right?
Pretty close.
Well, whatever. Game console. Sorry, I'm PC Master Race all the way, guys. Anyways, so yeah, get in there, comment, subscribe, talk to us below, and be a part of that challenge.
Please do. It's going to be fun.
So
love those beatdowns.
Yeah, love them. So before we get into the actual Flash recap, I want to address the elephant in the room. Okay? And no, I'm not talking about myself. No. I'm talking about the fact that the Flash has this insane schedule that makes it really hard to religiously follow this TV show. How do you feel about this schedule? We're on, what is this, the third hiatus now? And weeks and weeks between episodes, it just doesn't make any sense. I was talking to Shane, like in a couple months, we're gonna be wrapping back around to episode 1 of season 4. You know, we're talking about a season that has taken almost 9 months to finish. That makes no sense.
Well, I got to tell you something interesting, though, is that at least they referenced it in the show. Did you notice in the show that the comment had been, it's been almost a year? They actually made the comment in the show.
Oh, really?
It's the beginning of the season. It was pretty funny. I thought, because I knew we were going to probably talk about this, and I thought, oh, that's interesting that they recognize the fact that it has been almost a year this season, and they're actually, you know, I don't know what they're planning. Are they trying to turn this into a year-round show? I don't know.
I don't know, man. But I also don't like they started up Supergirl, ran her for like a month, and then stopped her, and in the same time slot put Legends, ran them basically to completion, and now Supergirl's coming back. Now, I'm not a fan of Supergirl, so I didn't really care very much. But I can tell you, the fans of are they trying to get Supergirl fans to watch Legends, or Legend fans to watch Supergirl? Like, what's the plan there? Why not just dedicate a time slot to a TV show that costs you millions of dollars to make? It doesn't make any sense.
I think they think of all of their shows as one show in a lot of ways. They think that they have so many people bouncing around, you know, that I think that they think things are very interchangeable, but they're wrong. Some of these shows are not very good.
I know they have other stuff that was happening too, like world events and stuff, which delayed it. But, you know, Legends wasn't delayed. Arrow didn't really have many delays. And Arrow has this, like, premium time slot where on Wednesday, where it's just untouched by the rest of the unwashed masses. That is Black Lightning, The Flash, right, Supergirl, and Legends. For some reason, they put Arrow on this pedestal when Arrow is arguably the worst of the shows. I mean, it is now. I mean, it wasn't before, but no, Supergirl is still pretty bad. But it's I don't even follow it anymore. It's just unless there's going to be a crossover bit with the Flash or Legends, I don't really care. And I know I probably shouldn't say it, but Arrow is dry and sort of emotional, and there isn't much going on. And even when there is a lot of like drama, it's drama. Like, I don't really want to watch. I need a little more levity and a little less drama. And Arrow is just constantly. And I'm sure I'm sure people in the comments will be like, "Oh, we've got some good episodes lately." I'm sure that's the case, but we're talking about a few seasons now of like just sort of the same thing and over dramatic and Felicity and Oliver, and I don't understand why it's put on this pedestal when that show is clearly close to its end, but they're never going to end it because it's now tied to the Flash, which is a huge earner for them.
It's true. Yeah, they just. I mean, I understand what they're doing. I know what Berlanti's trying to do. He's creating an entire universe that he can kind of pick and pull things from. Some of it's good, some of it's not. So, I mean, we're not all on the same page. When the shows mix in together, I'm not running over and watching Supergirl. I'm just not.
No.
I catch what happens on The Flash or I catch what happens on Legends. But, yeah, I'm not watching Supergirl, so I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, I do watch the crossover events only so that I'm aware of what's going on. But it's weird. Like the last time, if you remember, I watched Supergirl because of the crossover event, and I was complaining the whole time. Like,
yeah.
Like, okay, well, she's talking about her feelings. Even the evil version of herself was like worried about. This is a bad TV show, man. Okay,
well, they're not giving up on it. So.
Last thing before we get into the show, if there was a Teen Titans, so Berlanti is doing Teen Titans. That's the newest show that's going to be coming out, and there was some leaked photos. Like we saw Robin a few months ago, and he looked like Robin, and it looked good. But then the recent leaked photos, once we get a lot more information, we're going to eventually do a sort of Teen Titans WTF show. Once all the leaks come out, I don't want to do 3 or 4 shows because some of these leaks are just confusing. If you've seen the leaked photos, go look at them. I can't show them here. YouTube will literally take us off. But go check out the leaked photos and tell me if you think that remotely looks like Starfire or Raven. And I think maybe Beast Boy looks like he should, except for he doesn't have green skin, which is fine. But the other two, the Raven and Starfire, don't look like Raven and Starfire. They just don't. They don't look remotely. And I'm not talking about the race change. I don't care about that. They just don't look at all like the characters that we grew up watching or reading about. So, that's going to be a problem. So when all that comes out, we'll do a show. When all the leaks are, have been officialized, but right now we can't even show you the image because it'll be copywritten.
Yeah, we that'll be very interesting. Just for this episode of The Flash, we really have a lot of things to address in this issue. There were, even though the show is kind of being considered, this episode's kind of being considered kind of a, I don't know, kind of like a soft return. It wasn't really a heavy episode. It was actually a pretty darn heavy episode because there's a lot of elements in here. We have a question about Cisco. We've got a question about
Harry.
There's the interesting thing happening with the Thinkers, with
mechanic.
The mechanic. There's really a lot of elements here that need to be addressed, and there's a lot floating around on the internet. So I'm looking forward to also getting in and talking about Jay and Silent Bob's.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Was Kevin Smith directing this episode? That would make a lot of sense why that cameo is in there.
Yeah, he was directing. And so that was his cameo.
But it makes it wonder. Was it worth it? I saw it and I was like, oh, what was the placement for this? I mean, I get it. It's a little bit of fun, but
I can tell you, like, there are people out there that don't know what Jay and Silent Bob is. So to them, it was just a couple funny security guards, and it fit. And if you know who Jay and Silent Bob is, or you were fans of them, then that's a little fun Easter egg for you. Yeah. So I think it works because it works for people that don't know, and it works for people that do know. They never reference who, they don't say Jay and Silent Bob.
They don't say nothing.
It's a coincidence that Kevin Smith isn't talking.
Wait, Kevin Smith not speaking? Oh, yeah, Silent Bob.
Yeah. Okay, let's get right into the show, guys. We open up with a menacing shot of DeVoe in his new body, the Fiddler.
I can't keep up with all your bodies, DeVoe. Come on.
Fighting, especially when there's like 4 months in between each episode. So she's fighting Flash and Ralph, and you're like, whoa, man, talk about a hard opening, but oh no, it's a hologram. Ralph's messing around. He pops his head down like a turtle. It's actually a hologram that Cisco made. And it looks like there's some tension here between Barry and Ralph, because Barry doesn't like the fact that Ralph isn't taking it seriously enough. And, you know, of course, Ralph is using comedy as a tension release, right?
Right.
I like this moment, though, when they're walking in the hallway. He goes, nothing's wrong with comedy. We should all be comics. We should be comics and move to Washington, D.C. We'll be the D.C. Comics.
That was a good joke, actually.
That was actually a really good joke. Like, we'll be comedians. Move to D.C. and be D.C. Comics. I love that. A lot of the times, I don't like the real world like Easter egg references, but this was natural and it felt right.
Yeah, that's cool.
But there.
Oh, by the way,
what's up?
If you are fans of Jay and Silent Bob, before we get completely away from that, because I think that's going to happen, it looks like they're coming back with a new VR series. So you're going to get a chance to see those guys come back in their own little series here pretty soon. So stay tuned for that.
Sounds good to me. All right, yeah, but so there is some tension between Barry and Ralph. We'll get more into that. They get some information on the bus meta that they're hunting down, and her name is Noel. They can't find her, but somehow she's posting all over social media.
Yeah. So is this current or pre-bus, or is this like post-bus?
This is post-bus because she's like in one of those shots, like she's in the air or something. That looks interesting.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, that is kind of weird.
Yeah. And then Breacher shows up. I actually like this. You know how much I love Danny.
Yeah, no, Machete is fantastic.
Machete. Breacher shows up, grabs Cisco, and says, I need your help. I love that Cisco was like, bro, I'm getting mixed messages here.
Yeah, this was a nice exchange. He's actually getting up there in age. You can tell he is, so it was kind of a nice the way the storyline kind of coincides with, he is getting older, and it was a nice moment between Cisco and him, and we get that nice little towards the end question mark about what Cisco's going to do. So
I never thought about how old he was until this show brought it up. He is definitely getting older.
He's an old guy, man.
Yeah.
See, while we're looking around, maybe I can find it.
Yeah. Well, either way, he needs help because his vibe blasts are not working. So he can breach still, but he can't, blast people with his vibes or whatever it is.
Yeah. Danny Trejo is 73 years old, man.
Wow. So he comes to Cisco and asks for help because Cisco is, an expert on meta-human physics or whatever. All right. That's going to play out fun. Next, we go over to the Thinker's lab.
There's going to be a knife involved somehow. I know it.
Oh, I'm sure. The Thinker is having some problems with her new body. The mechanic comes back from her nap and tells her to go rest. There's a little exchange there where the Thinker says how many metas they're still looking for, and the mechanic catches her on it, so it gives him some suspicion. Actually,
the Thinker did not misthink.
Well, no, she actually said the right amount. Yeah, no, she said the right amount, but she forgot. I guess the Thinker forgot the mechanic was not aware of that right amount.
Well, no, I mean, as the episode plays out, and when you get to the end of the episode, of course, this scene is repeated.
Right.
But of course, this time she makes sure she says 2 because Barry Allen has 1.
Right.
So I think there was only, and when the scene was first done, I don't think the Thinker messed it up. I think there was only two, and they're having that conversation again. So I think this is actually taking place outside of our current timeline.
No,
So
no. It's because the mechanic. No, I think she actually did misspeak in the fact that there are only two, but there's two because she has the crying man, but she doesn't know the mechanic knows she has the crying man. So
maybe that could be it too. Yeah, that could be it.
So DeVoe took the crying guy, the Weeper, or whatever, and she's been holding the Weeper without the mechanic's knowledge so she can drug the mechanic with the Weeper's tears.
But there actually was three. I don't know. I don't think that's it because Dibney is one of the bus metas. So we're not counting him. He needs to be counted.
Oh, well, that's not that. But that's not what made the mechanic suspicious because she thought she was referring to Noel, the Folding Man, and the Weeper. They know where Ralph and the Flash.
Oh, you thought okay? So they were referring to the Weeper,
right? They're referring to the Weeper, but see, DeVoe is not making mechanic privy to the knowledge that he has the Weeper. He's not letting her know.
So we learned that this episode,
right?
I must have missed that somehow during it, but I thought it was interesting. It was a nice. I actually was going to say I was impressed with how they did the episode. If they had done it where basically the thinker corrected his mistake, but apparently that didn't happen. So
well, he did correct his mistake because he wants her to believe that he doesn't have the Weeper.
Right.
So it's essentially the same thing. Well, she's clearly suspicious, so that's a thing.
Yeah, and she's obviously repeating this thing that's happening. So yeah, she's aware now.
She goes in there and she's like, well, I'll make modifications to your chair. Oh, it looks like there's already some plans here. And, DeVoe is like, oh, yeah, I started without you. But in reality, he didn't start nothing. She's actually repeated that day a few times, and she's been making the changes.
She's been doing it, yeah.
Yeah. All right, now we get to see our first shot of Jay and Silent Bob as museum security guards.
The old clerks.
The original cast guard. So they walk away. Noel walks up and uses her powers for the first time with us. And she just makes that thing float in the air really fast. So it loses gravity or something.
Pretty cool powers. It actually converts the molecules into helium, I guess. So it's like having helium in the body. At least that's the way they explain it later in the show.
Yeah, I think what it does is it changes the gravity or something around that object.
Well, that's not what... I don't know, maybe
what's his name was like, it's like he has helium in his body. I think it was a reference. Because Noel in the comics, I mean, they could have totally changed her in the comics. She changes localized fields, and so like it reverses their gravity.
Gravity.
Yeah. All right. So she makes it go up in the air. Then she cancels the power, and it comes down. It crashes to the ground, and she takes what she wants. So Ralph and Digby, being brand new private investigators, decide to show up at a crime scene.
All right.
I like how they explain this like it was not something they can do all the time, because I would not like it if Ralph and Barry can just always go to a crime scene as if they're cops. Like, that's not realistic.
Yeah, that totally wouldn't work.
Yeah, so I like how they were like, well, we're just bringing Joe his coffee, And of course, Barry and Ralph are, again, they're a little bit at each other's throats still, and Ralph uses his powers for some reason to break an ancient $1 million vase. I'm not sure why he did that.
Well, it was actually Barry that did it. So Ralph sent his hand out there, but Barry hit his arm. So it was a combination of the two of them that caused that thing to break.
Oh, I see.
Ralph was going to go in there and do something with his... I think he was going to go get something out of the crime scene or something. And Barry's like, no. So...
Yeah, so they're not working as a team right now. Of course, Jay and Silent Bob dropped the ridiculously expensive vase.
I need this job, man.
I need this job, man. Seeing them together always reminds me of how much I miss that pair. I know you weren't necessarily like a huge fan of Jay and Silent Bob, but I love Kevin Smith, and I like almost anything Kevin Smith does, even when it's weird and out there. So
I liked Clerks, and I liked a couple of their movies. I thought a couple of them were a little weird. Dogma was a little bit out there, but overall, I like them.
Oh, you haven't seen Tusk yet? What the F? That was crazy about this guy trying to transform himself into a walrus or something. No, he's trying to transform somebody else into a walrus because he's in love with a walrus. It's wow. It is. Wow, man.
Well, somebody was definitely smoking the wacky.
Yeah, and Justin Long is in it. He's the guy that gets it's crazy. Kevin Smith, man.
Justin Long, I remember that guy.
Okay, anyways. Moving on. Okay, so Breacher is training. He throws a knife at Cisco's cutout.
I still don't know why we got a Cisco cardboard cutout, but okay.
Yeah, and why is he like this? You know. Anyways.
This guy.
Where do these guys get their cutouts? Because they have a lot of cardboard cutouts. I bet you their local Kinko's is just super busy.
They're like, why do you want so many pictures of yourself? Okay, why not?
All right. Well, it's not working. He threatens him again. Figure it out, Cisco, or I'm gonna murder you.
What do you call him? Siski?
Siski. He also tells him now, like, look, if you are able to fix me, then I'll pull some strings and get you some time with your girl.
Right.
That intimate motivation always works out.
That he's currently withholding from him, basically, because he's working her so hard.
Right. That's what's happening. Yeah. By the way, notice the table in the back where that Caitlin's standing over. That table is so sick. Oh my God. It's so cool. Like, it has the lights in there, right? There's lights inside the LED, but they're purposely like different levels of brightness, and so it gives it like that infinite look. I mean, that I would love to own that table. I'm just saying.
Okay,
that's a cool.
Your birthday. I'll see what I can find.
It's a cool table, Shane. And Christmas is around the corner now again. So
birthday, Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, my birthday is too. Just to let you know, I want that table.
All right,
get me the table, Shane. Okay, moving on.
Got it. I'll call the set.
All right, we go. It's gonna be $45,000.
That'll be $100,000, sir. All right, never mind.
We go back to the lair of DeVoe, and the mechanic is doing some research.
She's got that look on her face that crap.
She's looking at the chemical composition of what? Oh, when she dropped her coffee, the weeping chemical was inside of her coffee.
I would like to say that it obviously doesn't mix up very well in the coffee.
Clearly not. Like, how have you not noticed it before dropping your cup?
When you're drinking, you're like, oh, there's a glowing nuclear-looking substance at the bottom of the cup.
I'm sure it's fine. It's just some sugar.
Yeah, that sugar's looking weird.
Yeah, it really doesn't mix well whatsoever, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So yeah, she's on to DeVoe, everybody. All right, moving on back to the Flash headquarters. Wells is now just apparently permanently wearing this cap, and he's looking for the Folding Man and for Noel. They have not yet found Noel yet. They've found like one of her identities, but they haven't found her. Boom, he finds her. They use their facial recognition. She's downtown. Target found. They're gonna go get her. So Ralph and Barry are dispatched to go find Noel. And of course, where is Noel? Oh, she's at the apartment of Ralph's ex-business partner. Small world, everybody.
Dun, dun, dun.
I like this because Ralph...
Atlantis.
What?
Star.
Yeah.
And former Stargate Atlantis star.
Yeah. Dr. Beckett, right? No, not Dr. Beckett. Something like that.
We're pretty close, I think. It's... I'll find it.
Anyways, so Ralph decides the best course of action is to mimic Joe West.
Yeah.
And by the way, the actor that plays Joe West is definitely a good actor. because he's able to play Ralph playing himself.
Yeah. So that guy there is Paul McGillian, and he played. You're right, Carson Beckett.
Oh, it was Carson Beckett.
Carson. So Dr. Beckett. You're right. Like Sam Beckett from anybody?
I don't know. Cheers?
From Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap. Oh, yeah. Why did I say Cheers? All right. So they're pressuring this guy, and, Noel is there, and Noel hits Barry with the juice, and now Barry is flying. They tie a rope to his leg, and they take him back to Star Labs, and now he's just sort of in the air. And Harry decides that, we don't even have to do anything because it's going to wear off eventually, and it just wears off right then.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. All right, moving on. Back in
Barry's already really irritated.
What's that?
So.
Oh, yeah. And
Barry's already really irritated.
Yeah, he was extra irritated then.
Right.
Especially because Ralph was making jokes.
Yeah.
All right, Cisco and Caitlin are still trying to figure out what's going on with Breacher. They've determined that's old age.
Oh, bummer.
Breacher can no longer vibe blast because it takes a lot of energy, and apparently you lose energy the older you get, and he just no longer has the energy to do it. He thought about probiotics or, a bunch of other stuff that you would take when you're older. But it's not going to work for the Vibe Blast. So he just got to tell Breacher it's not going to happen. But he's so afraid of Breacher, and Breacher withholding his daughter from Cisco that he decides to buy himself some time and pick up Caitlin's antihistamines and give them to Breacher as a sugar pill. I love it. I love how Danny Trejo, Breacher takes the pill and immediately turns around and try to blast, right?
Right, yeah.
And Cisco's got to use his own vibe blast to sort of fill in the blanks. He's just digging himself a deeper and deeper hole now, man.
It's definitely feeling like a Brady Bunch episode here.
Yep, and then Trejo takes off. Now, they discover Noel's location once again. And Harry decides that the way you get to Noel before she can wham-bam you is to make sure you're invisible. So move fast enough where she can't see you, right?
Look at Noel wearing the military fatigues.
Yeah, that was an interesting costume choice.
Mm-hmm.
So the Flash super speeds in there. And by the way, the Flash should literally do this with every single supervillain.
Right. Where they can't see him. Fantastic.
Why is it that he ever rolls into a crime scene and stops for any reason at all? He'll stop and be like, I'm here to stop you. And the guy's like, not today, Flash. Like, just zoom in there and handcuff the person. Please, stop. Yeah. Stop monologuing, dude. Every single time something bad happens to you.
Yeah, and apparently it didn't even work here, though. So.
Right, because Noel had already sent a getaway car flying. Basically, a getaway car is a car with a person inside.
Yes. That's plummeting to the earth.
My question, Shane, did she know the Flash was coming? Or was that guy just going to die if the Flash didn't show up?
Yeah, I think it would have made more sense if she'd done it when the Flash was there. So that was a little weird. A little bit of kind of corny writing, I think. So she was just going to murder a random person and whoever that car fell on. Yeah, pretty much.
For seemingly no reason. But, totally, lucky her, the Flash showed up. Now she needs it. That was so weird to me. Because she's a thief. I didn't take her as like a hardcore murderer.
Hey, it's writing for effect. She's not a hardcore murderer. It's just the writers getting around a problem.
Gotcha. Okay, well, the car's in the air.
Problem, not a character problem.
So the Flash has to go save the car. I like the way they do it. Notice that because of time, he didn't have to consult his entire team on how to do this. He just sort of did it.
As it should be.
As it should be, yes.
What should I do, guys? Should I try to move the car? Should I try to slide in through the window?
Should I use
do?
my
Oh,
my tornado arms? Yeah, the crazy thing is, some things this episode. I know this episode was a soft, like, sort of restart of the show for us, or a comeback. But there's some problems, like you said. Like, yes, a lot of big questions were answered. What's Cisco gonna do? What's about DeVoe's the mechanic? Ralph's reveal about his past, like we already sort of knew, was probably something like that, but now we know for sure. All those things, but then also we are seeing the way the Flash should be operating right now.
right.
We haven't seen that for a couple seasons, and I don't know how they go back to him operating the same old dumb way, because running in there and handcuffing her with the dampeners before she can react or see him is the way the Flash, the only way a superhero like the Flash should be operating. That's using his speed to his advantage.
He did get help with that, though. They told him, Harry told him that he needed to phase, so he was basically invisible, so he could put the handcuffs on her. So he did get team support with the plan. But you're right, it did feel a little more like Flash doing his thing. Also, in this episode, Iris, I kind of like this. She wasn't like in Barry's face about the mistake he was making. She was doing that thing that good wives and good partners should do, which is kind of let you see it yourself, but kind of point it out in a way that's not.
Yeah.
She's not talking down to him. I thought they did that really well with her, and that's the way it should be.
She was supporting him. She was lifting him up versus tearing him down.
Yeah, and I thought that was, great job in putting Iris in the right. Ever since she was the Flash, and now, gave up the power so Flash could be the Flash again. Her character's made an adjustment, which has been good.
Yes, no, I totally agree. This is the kind of Iris I'm okay with. The not in your face Iris, the support of the independent Iris. Yeah,
the subtle. I know the answer, but I'm not going to beat you over the head with it.
Right. So I'm not having a problem though. Like, again, he didn't like call his wife, and he didn't call Harry about solving this problem. He just sort of knew what to do, and that's new to us the last couple of seasons. So I hope we continue to see that, because
but here's the problem. In a few scenes, you're going to see them say, Barry, you need to get those people out of there. So you're still going to, I don't think it's gone. I just think you had a nice moment here.
Oh, great. Thank you for teasing us with proper Flash.
Yeah, they're going to give it to us every once in a while.
Yeah, well, he saves her, obviously. Now, back at Star Labs, Cisco, or Siski, picks up the antihistamine bottle and instantly vibes. And, where did Breacher go to the second he left their room? He went to go find the vampire guy he didn't kill. Cisco realizing that he's about to get his future father-in-law murdered, has to breach in there and save the day. I like this. I like when he tried to use, Cisco has a gun for everything, right? So he tries to use a sunlight gun on the vampire, and Breacher's like, sunlight doesn't work on this vampire.
It doesn't work on this kind of vampire.
And Cisco was like, oh, wow, that's why.
That was good. Then he breached him out of there. Yeah.
Then he breached him out of there. And then he's like, what's wrong with you, Siski? And, first he's mad, but then Cisco is like, dude, listen, you're getting old. This is the problem. Sorry, I misled you. And Danny Trejo / Breacher leaves angry. So
yeah, he's like, I don't like you.
Yeah. All right, now we go back to DeVoe's shop, and this was a heartbreaking scene of the mechanic discovering DeVoe's
he's basically put a knife in her back.
Yeah, his betrayal. Thank you. And this actress is a very good actress. And at least in this scene, because there's been scenes in the past I didn't like her, but this scene was really good. The way she sort of emotionally brought that out.
She had good with emotional scenes.
Yeah. And she realized that when she was recording that file that she already had that file. And that was the moment where you're like, oh, snaps.
Oh my gosh.
This has happened so many times that she's repeating the same file name.
Dang.
Yep. And then DeVoe comes in and goes, clever of you to use that, but, you know, we've already used that before, and let me help you. And he basically, you know, erases her mind again and restarts the day, but this time without the fatal flaw.
Yes. It's pretty twisted.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Obviously, I mean, obviously they're setting it up. I mean, that's the only problem with this. I mean, I like it. I'm enjoying it, but now you know that she's going to be have a hand in his downfall.
Of course.
I mean, you just know that that's going to happen now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Now back over to Team Flash. Ralph Digby is eating some donuts in the pipeline, and Flash comes in. He's like, "Hey, look, man, we gotta talk, bro."
Yeah, I love how Barry's kind of like apologizing, but not really. You know, it was a good way. You know, he's kind of like, you know, he doesn't want to. That was very honest, I thought.
Yeah. So Ralph shares with them, like, look, man, you know, the way I deal with fear and problems is I either laugh at it or I run from it. You know, those are the two options I do. And I'm learning to laugh at it more than run from it or whatever. And it's a really good backstory. You know, he had problems with his mom, and, you know, he tried to make her laugh, and the more he laughed, the more better he felt. It's a really cool idea. I feel like we've all done that, right? Or at least most of us. You know, when I was in the military, you had, you know, to get through boot camp and AIT and some of the training they put you through, you got to learn to laugh at stuff. Because if you just take it real seriously, it's going to break you, man.
I didn't laugh at anything, man. I was 100% serious.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, really, I was. But, you know, that's the way I am, so.
Yeah, well, I wasn't. When they were like, okay, we're getting up at 4 in the morning. We're going to run 7 miles in your boots with your gear and your rucksack. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This was me. Oh, yeah, of course, 7 miles wasn't enough. We had to add boots to it and a rucksack. And then when we get out there, you know what? You're taking too long. Make that 10 miles. That's what I'm like. Oh, of course. Why not? Let's just go 10 miles. And that's the way I am. I sarcastically answer, I'm doing it, but this is the way I deal with disappointment, guys. Right?
Right. And then they say, okay, good job, Private Brian. You just added 5 miles to our run.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense, Jordan. Thank you, Drill Sergeant. Would you like me to do push-ups first? Get on, give me 20. Sure. You want 30? I'll give you 30. No problem. No, I'm the smart ass. It got me through boot camp, bro. It got me through boot camp. And you know what? I think that one of the reasons that the drill sergeant, like about halfway in, was willing to deal with my my sassiness was because I shot a 38 out of 40, son.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't run fast. I didn't do a lot of push-ups. I couldn't do a lot of pull-ups. I probably ate too much. I took a long time sometime on my fire watch, but I shot a 38 out of 40.
Yeah, and look, all those first-person shooter games paid off for you.
That's right. I was going to say that. All that Counter-Strike ended up working out. My hand-eye reaction is really good. Yeah, no, I'm an expert-level marksmanship, man. I'm feeling pretty good about that. So one thing I did well in the military was shoot. All right, moving on.
Which ironically is what they need, so fantastic.
Yeah, ironically, they need people that can shoot a weapon, not run a 9-minute, 2-mile lap, okay?
Well, they like that too, but yeah.
I mean, they like that, but like, you know, in the words of my drill sergeant, do you want someone that would stand next to you and shoot a 38 out of 40, or someone that could run a 9-minute mile or a 4-minute mile or whatever?
No, you don't want someone fast next to you, because if you're the slow one, then you're the one they're going to get.
Yeah, I don't have to be faster than him. I just got to be faster than you.
That's right. That's right.
All right, moving on. All right, now Noel has decided she's gonna rob an entire museum full of people. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure she's a straight up serial killer, bro. She was going to turn all of them into atmospheric satellites. Notice
she
that?
was. Mm-hmm.
Without a question. So I think that's the deeper, darker secret here. Noel is not some like quirky thief. She's a straight up serial killer.
Yeah, she's looking to kill people.
Yeah. Well, the Flash shows up with Ralph, and of course she immediately turns. She does that aura thing. She's gonna turn everybody in there, and they're like, "Flash, get all the people out, Flash." He's like, "Oh yeah, I should do that."
Wait, what do I do now? Oh,
wait, what do I do? I've got to know them out. What do I do, Mrs. Iris? And she's like,
well, yeah, because as soon as he saves everybody, she shows up behind him, taps his shoulder, and then he goes flying off. So,
yeah, he's like, "Oh no, I'm flying now."
Oh, Ralph, as he's going to his death, let Ralph figure it out.
Let Ralph figure it out. And Ralph cuffs her. He starts falling, and he turns himself into a giant whoopee cushion. Hence the callback.
Yes.
And I like this. I like Ralph. Ralph is becoming one of my favorite characters on this show.
Yeah, he's pretty real. He's a real character.
Yeah, for me, it's Ralph, Wells, and Barry and Cisco are pretty much essential to this show. And Ralph didn't start off that way. Originally, Ralph sort of annoyed me, and then slowly started growing me like a fungus. And then I like him. He adds a feel of levity. Like he calls out the ridiculousness of the show sometimes, which is really important for the audience because this show is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's definitely. I mean, the Flash was about to die. I mean, he was literally within seconds of going. I mean, nothing was going to stop him from continuing to float, until he couldn't breathe. So, the way that was kind of handled was interesting.
Yeah.
Flash was really calm. Let Ralph
figure it out.
A lot of trust right there, Barry. A lot of trust.
Talk about a trust fall. That's a 20-mile trust fall right there, bro.
Trust float, whatever.
Trust float. All right, back at Star Labs, they have a little conversation where he's like, "Yeah, Ralph, I trust you heart to heart. Looks like they made up. Blah blah blah. Boom boom boom."
Well, but I like though, with that scene right there. I like that Barry is still annoyed.
Yeah.
I like that. They stay true to the characters. They do have this moment, but when it comes, they don't mesh well as personalities. And I like that they continued to keep that strong because that's reality. Not everybody always gets along with everybody else.
No, even when you have to. Yeah, their personalities are not the same. Ralph is constantly joking, and Barry's more in touch with his feelings.
Right.
All right, moving on. We get this great scene where Breacher comes back. He's in his retirement gear. He's like, "Siski, thank you for helping me." Siski, thank you for helping me, Siski.
Right.
And so this is the ticket, guys. He offers Cisco / Vibe the job as the new Breacher. Boom,
he actually called him Vibe. Yeah, he called him Vibe and offered them the job so then he could spend time with his daughter.
So, guys, does that mean either Cisco's going to have to turn it down so he stays on the show, or he's going to take the offer and he's going to end up being a guest star? I think that if they lose Cisco, they might lose me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think they can lose Cisco. I don't know if they. I mean, it could be they want to spin the show off into another show. I mean, I can see them doing that maybe, giving Cisco his own show. But I think once you start doing that's when things start falling apart.
I don't think Cisco works on his own.
He doesn't. He's not the lead.
No, he's an excellent supporting cast, and he's required. But so,
for example, when Seinfeld, which arguably was the greatest sitcom of all time, was on arguably. When that show ended, all the stars went on to do their own projects, and all those projects failed.
Yeah, every one of them.
Every one of them, because not everybody's meant to be a lead, and Cisco I don't think is meant to be a lead. I think he's a good foil, a good character.
There's great ensemble cast out there that don't actually have one superstar. It's the characters and everything that works together really well that works out.
True.
Which is the way a lot of these CW shows work. So question: if Cisco takes the job, does he have to leave the show, or can he take the job and still make Star Labs like his base of operations and do missions for Breacher? Or
they could add that element to it, and you'd see less Cisco maybe in the day-to-day Flash stuff. You know, maybe he wouldn't be in every battle that the Flash did, but they're also in the middle of trying to figure out the Thinker, and it seems like it would be really a weird thing. So I think whatever decision he makes, it will hold off until the end of the season.
Right.
They'll probably they'll keep bouncing it, you know, and it'll show up in the storyline, but he won't make any firm decision until probably the finale. You know, they've beat the Thinker, and now
he's like,
got to make it.
Sorry, guys, I have to go my own way now.
I've got to go do my own thing.
And his girl is there like, come on, Cisco. And she makes a breach, and they walk through the breach together. And you're like, what? Cisco's gone? What? And I'm about to make a prediction. So that's the ending. Cisco and his girl, Gypsy, they make a breach. It's the whole thing. They love each other. Ralph died at the hands of DeVoe, and Cisco's leaving. It looks like Team Flash is breaking up and ending. Major changes. Barry's losing his support, but it's all for the better. And then, boom, ends. Pick up season 5. Cisco broke up with Gypsy. He's back on the team.
Ralph Dibny wasn't really dead.
Ralph Dibny was actually in hiding. He was in a coma the whole time, whatever. And Caitlin has figured out. And then in the first episode, the entire team is back together again.
Yeah, there you go. And Harry somehow keeps from becoming Thawne.
Yeah,
again.
So we're going to get to that right now. Harry has found the Reverse Flash's little area that he worked in.
The future layer.
Yep. Hooks up his thinking cap in the same place that the Reverse Flash kept his suit charge. And then activates Gideon impersonating Eobard Thawne.
Right. So
and Gideon fell for it. And Gideon knows the future.
Okay, so what do you think's going on here?
I mean, Gideon is a artificial intelligence from the future.
Right.
She's from Eobard Thawne after DeVoe has been defeated.
Yes.
Remember, the Flash went in here to try to activate this to get information, and it didn't work. They've been using it as a computer ever since because Gideon wouldn't turn on. But the Gideon turned on for this guy.
Okay, so what do you think is the point here? What do you think is happening? Because the feel that it gave was that Harry was up to something nefarious.
I think Harry is going to use dark matter, even though he said he wouldn't. And I think it's going to mess his brain up or something. But what I think is happening is I think Gideon's going to be a big way on how they take down DeVoe, because I don't care how smart you are, how fast you think. If Wells knows the literal future of how things are going to play off, then he can change it 100%.
Well, see, and that's the only problem with Gideon is it's a little OP. So
yeah, which is why I liked it before when they couldn't activate Gideon anymore. Remember, like, the Flash was trying to activate it, it wouldn't work. I like that. I'm like, yeah, no, if they know their future is too much.
It's too much, and there's no way that the Thinker could have taken this into consideration.
No.
So obviously he doesn't know that this exists. So
yeah. So the end of this episode was this is a big part of a change for the Flash.
Yeah. So a lot of things are going to happen,
or they're just going to ignore it. And Wells is not going to actually use it to defeat DeVoe. He's going to use it for his own personal gain and end up being the season 5 villain.
Okay, I can see that.
Maybe it'll be like the classic Thinker. I don't know.
I don't know. He definitely is obsessed with the idea that he can't. I mean, they're totally building upon the story premise that he's frustrated that he's getting his butt kicked by the Thinker. And everything that he says everything that he says when he's talking in the show is basically, why can't we do this? Why can't we find it? I messed up. I messed up. He's beating it. So you can see they're driving his character to make a poor decision.
Yeah.
It's already, they're driving it. You can see it.
Yeah, you could tell.
And this facial expression shows it.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like he's about to make a bad decision.
Oh, yes. Is he right there? That's the way I look at a double cheeseburger from In-N-Out.
And a chocolate shake and fries.
And a chocolate shake and fries.
Can I order that again, please? Thank you.
Yes. You know, or that's my face when I realized last season when I thought they're gonna kill off Iris. All right, man. That's it for the show, my friends. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week, next Wednesday or Thursday, for another Flash recap, because the Flash will be on again next week. And we'll be back tomorrow for yet another show. Do we know what it is yet, Shay?
I believe we're doing a Star Trek Orville something or other like that.
Some kind of Orville Star Trek thing tomorrow. So
some sort of update tomorrow.
Come back tomorrow for that. Some kind of news update theory thing. I'm sure it's gonna be cool. Have a great night.
Yes, and make sure you guys don't forget to hit that bell and make comments. The 32, we're giving away we're gonna give away another box.
3,200 subscribers. Yep.
3,200 subscribers.
Hit the bell. Comment below. Yep. Subscribe. Share it. Tell your friends. Tell your family members.
Yeah,
go on your wife's phone when she's not looking and just subscribe to us, please.
Yeah, go to all your
or your
family
husband's
members.
phone or your boyfriend's phone or your friend's phone from school, you know.
Yeah, your kids.
Just hack their phone and just subscribe to us. Let's get that 32 quick as possible. Actually,
at your next family function, just go ahead and hit subscribe.
On everybody's phone. Just go around gathering their phones and hit subscribe to the podcast.
You know, that's the way to get. They're not commenting. It's not going to hurt your place.
Oh, man. Yeah,
maybe.
We're just kidding. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. Do all that cool stuff, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.